Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Pace Morby, and this is the Daily DMs, where we break down your questions you've sent me on either Instagram DMs, YouTube comments, or sometimes even Facebook Messenger. So if you guys have a burning question about real estate, more specifically creative finance, subject to, seller finance, notes, all those types of things, please hit me up in my DMs for a chance to be highlighted on this channel. So today, we're gonna be jumping into a question that I love. It comes up a lot, and I think a lot of people have this question as well. Tala reaches out to me on Instagram and she says, hypothetically, what would Pace do if you're currently working 2 jobs, family depending on your income from those jobs, but you always had the desire to work in real estate? I think a lot of people realize real estate's the way to build true wealth. I'm on a path in my own life to build massive wealth and a legacy that 200, 300, 4 years later, my name, my family's legacy, my wealth has continued on to bless more and more and more people, even after my death. I don't see any other vehicle that can have the effect, especially long term. So I understand your desire. How do you do it, especially with 2 jobs and you have family depending on you? Well, like you said, family is depending on you. So what are you doing in your daily life that's causing you to have 0 free time? Let me ask you a couple of questions. Are you spending time watching TV? Are you spending time going to the grocery store? Are you spending time maybe going out with friends to dinner, etc.? I bet if you took a snapshot of your week and you tracked that entire week all the way through and you found inefficiencies in your schedule, right? Whether you're waking up 30 minutes before you have to leave to work, or maybe you're going to bed a little bit earlier, or maybe you're watching TV as you're going to bed, whatever it is, I can guarantee you that you can accumulate probably 10 hours a week in just erroneous, wasted time. Now, get your game face on. That's why I wore this Suns jersey today, Steve Nash, guys, is because I want you to understand that this is just a game. Real estate is a game. Now, if you want to be at the highest level, you've got to put a ton of time into this business. I get that. But in order to start and get the momentum going, you really don't need that much time. So my answer is this. You don't need to go out and cold call. You don't need to go out and go to real estate meetups and all that kind of stuff and get dressed up and go do all those things if you don't have the time. There is so many amazing opportunities that you can leverage software to get into this business. More specifically, batchdriven.com. So batchdriven.com is a driving for dollars door knocking app. Now, you don't have time to door knock probably, but Batch Driven allows you to do virtual driving for dollars. So how do I do that? Well, I pull out Batch Driven, I take the app, and I go through and I start finding ugly houses from a virtual driving for dollars. I don't even have to go out in my vehicle. How amazing is that? So I save time, I save money by not having to go out and do all those things. Now, let's say I find 20 houses, 30 houses, 400 houses, 500 houses, etc. What do I do now? Here's the big key. Ask yourself, who in my market is doing real estate deals right now? Find that person, reach out to them and say, hey, I don't have time to call these people. I don't have time or the budget to text these people. But if I drive for dollars for you, I go and accumulate 500 addresses and send them over to you. Would you be interested in calling those people, texting those people, and if we lock up a deal together, we split some profits. I get a smaller share because I'm doing less of the work, but at least I get to learn the process and watch along the way. So many people think you got to spend a ton of money to get into this business. What you really just need to do is you need to go build relationships with people who are already doing real estate. What's amazing to me is this. I get people that go, oh man, I wish I had an opportunity to get into real estate. It's so expensive. I'm like, I would love to just have 10 people driving for dollars for me virtually through Batch Driven. Send my team the addresses and we'll spend the money on the skip tracing. We'll spend the time and energy calling and following up with the sellers. And if we get a deal out of it, we'll give you a good percentage of that deal. That is how you get into real estate. You leverage other people with experience and you give them something of value. That is how you do it. Now, I guarantee you most people watching this are going to go, that's a great idea, and then they never do anything about it. So the question is, do you really have the desire to get into real estate? Because if you did, you'd already be Googling batchdriven.com and going, what is this? I gotta sign up. Then what you should be doing is going on Instagram and following people who are doing deals in your local area, reaching out to them in their DMs and saying, hey, I'm gonna start driving for dollars with Batch Driven. I would love to bring all of those addresses and photos of those homes to you and your team so that we can do deals together. Are you open to something like that? Very simple. It takes very little time. My wife used to drive for dollars virtually for me before we had our baby, and she used Batch Driven even up as recent as like 30, 40 days ago. She was using Batch Driven in bed. We averaged in 30 minutes, you can find 50 houses that are beat up, pools are empty, roofs need to be replaced, whatever the issue is, cars are accumulated in the backyard, the houses are trash. You can find 50 houses in 30 minutes using batchdriven.com. Take those 50 houses and send those over to another real estate investor. Let them do all the heavy lifting. Let them leverage their experience and their long wisdom in this business to bring value to you. As you start making money, now you can start asking some different questions like, should I hire a VA? Should I do this? Should I quit my job? Or maybe one of those jobs that you have out of those two, you can remove one and do a double down effect where you start spending more and more time in real estate. And after a year, maybe 18 months, you can quit both of your jobs if you simply put in the work. So, great question. I hope the answer gave you some clarity on something free that you can do. Go download batchdriven.com. It's an app on the iPhone and on Android. It is the cheapest, easiest way to get into real estate. And honestly, it's the most time-effective app in the real estate game. Go download batchdriven.com and use the code 990 to get 50 free skip traces on me. Guys, batchdriven.com, link is down below. That's the easiest way to get into real estate. See you on the next episode.